Hello everybody and welcome back. And right now we saw how to unzip our word list that we will use, which is rockyou.txt. It comes pre-installed in Kali Linux, and we also right now want to actually run our own attack. We saw the 4-way handshake in the wireshark.cap file. We also saw the authentication frames in the wireshark.cap file, and all we need to do right now is run our attack. So let me just change my directory to the directory where I have my file, which is this one, handshake. So cd handshake, we can see it is right here. Basically, if you find this a weird name, you can just rename it to anything you want, as long as it has this .cap file, .cap extension. And once we do that, now we want to run our command, which is aircrack. So just type here aircrack -ng. The next thing you want to specify is -w, and this -w stands for word list. And now if you want to specify the name of the word list. Now if you just type here rockyou.txt, it will not work, since the word list is not in our own directory. As we can see, we only have this file. So let me just locate it once again, rockyou, and we can see that it is in this directory right here. Now, I'm not really sure why it says that it is still unzipped, and we can see it is actually unzipped. So we go back to the root directory and we start the command, so -w, and then we specify the path, which is user share word lists, and then the name of the word list, which is rockyou.txt. Now that we specify the path to the word list that we will use, all we need to do after this is specify the name of the file, which is in our case it is scan -01. Not really sure why it won't. Let me just see. No networks found exiting. What you mean with no networks found? Not really sure why does it say this. What does it mean, no networks found? No such file or directory. Of course, we are not in our current directory, so change your directory to handshake and let us try once again. Not really sure how I didn't notice this before. So let me just clear the screen so it is a little bit prettier. So aircrack -ng -w, then the path to the word list, which is rockyou.txt, and now we specify the name of our file, and this is the whole command. Once you typed all of this, we press here enter, and we can see it started the process of actually attacking or brute forcing our wireless access point password. Now, a few things we can see here. One of them is the transient key, master key, epoll, HMAC. The current passphrase is basically the current passphrase that it is going through the list that we specified. The time left is basically the approximate time left for this to finish. Here you can see how many passwords it already tested from all of the passwords, which is actually 9.8 million. I thought it was around 14 million. Well, I guess I was wrong. And this right here stands for keys per second, which basically stands for only passwords per second. And the Kali Linux machine that I have right here, since it is a virtual machine and since it is really slow, only has 340 or 50 passwords per second. Which you will probably, if you run this on any other Linux distribution or any other Linux machine, will be a lot faster. For example, this same attack right here on my laptop can go up to 4,300 keys per second, which will finish this attack in around 30 minutes and not 8 hours and 18 minutes. So it basically all depends of the amount of power that you gave to your virtual machine. Since I only gave it one core, and I can't really expect it to be that fast. So we won't really be waiting for this to finish, especially when I know that there really isn't my password in here. So right now I will put my password somewhere towards the end, or not towards the end, towards the beginning, and we will see how it looks like when it finds the password. So let me just Control-C this, and it will quit Aircrack. And now what I want to do is basically, in order to show you, I will go to my word lists and I will nano rockyou.txt, which can take some time since it is reading 10 million passwords, and it basically takes time to open that much of text. And then I will add and then basically I will add in this password list my own password for the router. So let's wait for this to open. Shouldn't take too long actually, or basically it might actually take too long since this is a virtual machine. Hopefully it won't crash. And we can see right here that it actually says reading 14 million lines. Not really sure why Aircrack said that there are 9 million passwords when it says right here that there are 14 million passwords, since each line is basically one password. Now what we want to do, let me just go right here. It is currently a little bit laggy since of course it is still loading the passwords. So we will basically just go a little bit lower and let us put our password here after the 5555. Now the password is this one for the my wireless access point. Let me just wait for it to actually load since it is currently laggy, since it is loading a bunch of these text passwords. Just try to type something. It won't work. Let me just wait a little bit before I continue. Now let me just close it once again. Well, basically now we can see that it actually bugged out, so not really sure why. Actually I am sure why. It is a virtual machine. It basically crashed while trying to load this. So what we will do is basically we will use a smaller word list, or wait, let me just nano it once again. And I will put it somewhere at the beginning, like 5th password, so I don't need to scroll down. Maybe it won't lag like that. And I will put my own password, and you will see that it will find with Aircrack the password for the wireless network access point, basically in just a few seconds, or not a few seconds, it will actually find it in less than a second, since I will put it right at the beginning. But it is once again reading this file, so let us wait for this to once again finish. And in the next tutorials I will use a smaller password list, so we do not have to wait this much for this to load. But you should give it a time, as it is really loading the 14 million passwords, which is a lot. It actually might sound a lot, but you will see that it really isn't that much, especially if you are not running this on a virtual machine. For example, as I said, the speed of the cracking process on my laptop is 4,300 passwords per second. And that is the lowest basically of all of the attacks that we will do. That is the lowest rate, since with my GPU it goes up to 120,000 passwords per second. And we will perform the GPU attack as well with Hashcat. I will show you that as well after this. And we can also try to do a rainbow table attack, which basically will make basically a rainbow table from your password list, and it will make the process of attacking it with both Aircrack and both Hashcat a lot faster. Now this once again bugged out, so let me just Control-C or Control-X, and I will create, or not create, I will find a smaller password list, since there is really no point opening this file on virtual machine. I thought it would work since on my laptop it opens it in just a few seconds and without problem, but then I realized that this is a lot slower than my laptop, so it will take a lot longer to do that. But hopefully, let me just see if I can close this. Control C doesn't work. Escape, no. Well, basically, let me just close this and reopen it once again, and then I will get back to you in a few seconds. Welcome back, everybody. Basically, I decided to split this video since it actually took me 3 times to restart my machine in order to get it to work. So if you didn't open that rockyou.txt file, please don't open it since it might crash your machine if it is not strong enough. So let me just open a terminal once again and zoom this in a little bit, and let's see the current directory. We want to go to Handshake and go to our file right here. So we want to create a word list or find a word list that isn't that big, so we will just go to the cd user share word lists. We will not use the rockyou.txt word list, let us use the fasttrack.txt. It doesn't really matter, it has less passwords, so let us just open it and let us add our password right here, since they gave us a free spot, so why not put it right there. Now the password for my wireless access point is this one. So now that we specify this, I want to Control O, then enter, and then Control C to close. Control X, oh wait, what am I doing? Save modified buffer, answering no will discard changes. Yes, we want to save that. Okay, so let me just check once again. If I put it there, it should be, there it is. Let us delete this free space, Control and then Control X, good. Now that we know that our word list will be fasttrack.txt, so we can run the same attack with aircrack. And basically you will see that right now it will find our password in less than a second. So aircrack -ng, then -w, and we specify the path to our word list, so word lists and then fasttrack.txt, and all we need to specify now is the name of our .cap file. And if we leave this to run, you can see basically it finished right away, and it actually found, as we can see right here, key found and our password for my wireless access point. It took less than a second to find it, so, and even though this is really slow, if the password is somewhere towards the beginning, this will finish basically in no time. So in order to boost this right here, in order to boost the number of the passwords that you can crack per minute, you can do basically 2 things. Either don't use virtual machine and use a Linux distribution that is dual booted with Windows, or basically only booted as a main operating system on a PC or laptop, because it will use all of the hardware resources that your machine has in order to perform this attack, which basically, for example, if I had on my main PC booted Linux and I ran this same attack, I believe this would be around 3000 passwords per second, since it won't use only 1 core, it would use all 4 cores. Now the other way is the way that I will show you in the next video, which is basically running the same attack, or not the same attack, basically running the brute force attack with GPU, which is your graphics card, which can perform which basically can perform this attack a lot faster, since basically your graphic card has a lot more cores and it can perform this smaller task a lot faster than your CPU. Therefore, it will be much faster in process of cracking this password. We will use Hashcat in order to do that, but you will see in the next video that we will need to do some little modifications to our file in order to continue with that attack process. So after that we will cover how to make word lists that could suit you better, since sometimes you do not want to use the word list that you have pre-installed or that you can download on the internet, so you will be able to create your own word lists. But all of that we will do in the next lectures. For now on, that is it with the AirCrack CPU cracking. We will continue with Hashcat in the next tutorial, and I hope I see you there. Bye!